We did 2 case studies of 2 different women. This was in Kerala in South India. And one of the women was named Ambili. She was destitute, which meant that she was food insecure and she lived on less than $1 a day. We knew that she was food insecure because when we visited her, she kept looking into the fire, and we asked her why, and she said yesterday the cat had stolen their lunch and they were not able to eat. She wanted to make sure they could eat today. So she was an example of a person who lives on the brink of survival. The other woman we interviewed was Sobhana, and Sobhana had been raised as a poor person. Her father was a casual laborer and her mother a housewife. But then she had been able to be educated, and she now was elected as the ward member of the panchayat. And so she was able to take action on behalf of the women less privileged than she. We looked at their empowerment, and we looked in different dimensions of their lives, in terms of health, in terms of education, their ability to be part of a group, and then their sense of overall life satisfaction. And we found that it was different in different cases.
നമ്മളെപ്പോലെ സമൂഹത്തിൽ കഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന ഒരുപാട് ആളുകളുണ്ട്. ഇവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി എന്തെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഏതിപ്പോൾ അമ്പലത്തിലായാലും മറ്റുള്ള ക്ഷേത്രങ്ങളിലെ ആരാധനയേക്കാൾ ഏറ്റവും മഹത്തായ കാര്യം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കഷ്ടപ്പെടുന്ന, അതായത് സമൂഹത്തിൽ ദാരിദ്ര്യരേഖയ്ക്ക് താഴെ ഏറ്റവും പാവപ്പെട്ട ഒത്തിരി ആളുകളുണ്ട്. ഇവരുടെ കഷ്ടതകളും പ്രയാസങ്ങളും അല്പമെങ്കിലും നമ്മളാൽ സഹായിക്കാൻ കഴിയുമെങ്കിൽ അതാണ് ജീവിതത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ. ഇപ്പോൾ പൈസ ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിന് നല്ല സന്തോഷം, മനസ്സിൻ്റെ സന്തോഷമാണ് നമ്മുടെ ആരോഗ്യം. നമ്മുടെ ആരോഗ്യം നന്നായിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്ക് പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ചെറിയൊരു തൊഴിലെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ നമ്മളെ മനസ്സിനൊരു കഴിവ്, എല്ലാം അംഗീകരിക്കാനുള്ള കഴിവ്, അതാണ് ആവശ്യം.
She had a very strong inner character which came from her passion to serve people who were not as well off as she did. And that drove her work and her politics and her actions as a ward member, a panchayat member. And the women around her, in a sense, were not as she was. Her sister-in-law and the people in her family were still housewives. And so she was a leader and exemplar. And so her role was to encourage other women to take responsibility and to learn the strength that they already had within.
ഇപ്പം എൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം എൻ്റെ മക്കളെ വളർത്തണം, എനിക്ക് ജോലി ചെയ്ത് ജീവിക്കണം. അതാണ് എൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിലെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട കാര്യം. ദൈവത്തെ അറിഞ്ഞ് ജീവിക്കണം.
It seems that, first of all, empowerment has different sides. I can be empowered as a mother because I'm able to educate my children, but disempowered as a worker because I don't have steady work. She was a weaver, and it changed. I can be empowered in my religious sense, and she was, as quite a fervent and devout person that gave her strength, but disempowered in her ability to get health care if she needed it because she couldn't afford the fare to go to the clinic. And so what we found was that the meaningfulness of her life, in a sense, derived from, in her case, a spiritual or religious core. And that was able, in some sense, to compensate, but it should not take our eye as economists off of the fact that we still have a responsibility to look after her ability to be well nourished and to have a decent job.
പൈസ ഇഷ്ടം പോലെ കൈ കിട്ടിയാൽ നമ്മൾ എല്ലാം മറന്ന് ആഹ്ലാദിച്ച് ജീവിക്കുമായിരിക്കും. പക്ഷേ പൈസയൊക്കെ വളരെ കുറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മൾ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒരു നമ്മൾ ഇത്തിരി താഴ്ന്നവരാണ്, ഇത്തിരി പാവങ്ങളാണ്, നമ്മളത് കണ്ടാണ് ജീവിക്കേണ്ടത് എന്നൊക്കെ ഉള്ള ഒരു ചിന്തയുണ്ടാവും.
It seems that happiness is not what I feel at this particular moment. It's something deeper. It has to do with the ability that I have to bring the values that I hold to bear on different aspects of my life, to live, as it were, a value-laden life. And when different people, whether they are poor or rich, are able to do that, there is a more stable core of happiness than my smile time, than my emotional or psychic energy on a particular day. And that sense of well-being and fulfillment is what we are trying to, in the end, advance.
Hello,